Okay, class, let's talk about the equilibrium of the NI. NI is measured at the point of equilibrium when what we call aggregate demand equates to aggregate supply. The NI is said to be in equilibrium when semicolons, we cannot, when aggregate demand equates to aggregate supply. What is aggregate demand? Aggregate demand is that which is effective. I repeat, aggregate demand is that which is effective. What do we demand in the market for goods and services? We demand two types of commodities, namely the consumer goods and the producer goods. Okay? And when it comes to the consumer goods, that denotes the consumption level in the country. And when we talk of producer goods, we have said this denotes the level of investment taking place in the country, because for sure we purchase the producer goods to do businesses. So we can note that under the aggregate demand, the income that you're talking of is given by two things: consumption, the purchase of the consumer goods, plus the investment, which is under the purchase of the producer goods. That is aggregate demand, which we are now equating to, the aggregate supply. What is aggregate supply? After we have supplied, what do we supply in a society? We supply two things. One, the goods, and number two, the services. So when we are selling goods, class, we earn some income. After I've sold my cabbages, I'll have some income generated. Number two, we supply services. When I have been employed, I'll earn some income at the end of the day or at the end of the month. Where do we take that income after we have supplied both goods and services? And I've said, supply of goods, when you sell your produce in the market, you'll generate some income. And when you sell the services, when you have delivered your services at the place of work, you'll have been paid. That is income generated from the services offered. The question is, when we get this income, how do we spend it? We do two things. Number one, we can consider to consume. We buy the consumer goods. Number two, we can consider if there's any balance to save. So the equation y is equals to C plus S denotes the aggregate supply, and the equation C plus I denotes the aggregate demand. The point of equilibrium is denoted on the NI when aggregate demand, denoted by consumption plus investment, equates to aggregate supply, denoted by consumption plus the savings. And if we were to take our Y, we equate it to the Y, for sure we'll realize that the C and the C will take care of each other. And in general, when our NI is in equilibrium, then our investment are out of the savings that are taking place in the country. So this is a conclusion we draw between the investment and the savings, that it's out of what we save. People borrow money saved by others for them to do businesses. I can save to start a kiosk tomorrow. So savings are the ones that we believe they are likely to be transformed to be the investment in the country. And when the level of savings equates to investment, we say the NI is in equilibrium. If the level of investment happens to be lower, for example, we are saying our I here happens to be lower than the savings, then we cannot, in the country, we require to save more, because when there's too much of investment, we normally say excess supply may lead to lower prices of goods and services, and you may end up incurring losses. So when investment is actually more than savings, encourage savings. But when the savings are, on the other hand, let's say less, when the savings are more than the investment, then you need to encourage what? Investment. So it is important to also consider when we have a disequilibrium on our NI. And these are the two scenarios. Number one, we have said, if the investments are less than the savings, encourage the investment to take place in the country. Because if we are not investing, we are just savings, then it means we are deterring a chance for the growth of the country. And when our savings, assuming investment here, are more than the savings, then we need to encourage savings. And these two, the last two situations here, are denoting a case where there's a disequilibrium in the market, where the NI is not at a point of equilibrium. So very important to note, the equilibrium is developed when the NI of the country will be said to be in equilibrium when aggregate demand, equates to aggregate supply. Aggregate demand is denoted by the level of the income, whichever is actually spent on the purchase of the consumer goods and the producer goods. Consumer goods purchased denotes the consumption level. Producer goods purchased denotes what we call the investment. And aggregate supply denotes the level of income earned through the sale of both goods and services. But where do we take that income? Part of it is consumed and the balance can be saved. So when savings equates to investment, we say an equilibrium is established. If they are not equal, then it means there's a disequilibrium. And if so, investment are less than savings, encourage investment to happen in the country. When investments are more than the savings, you need to encourage the people of the nation to have the habits of saving so that they don't suffer out of their doing businesses. And in some instances, the level of the price for a commodity may actually go down, which means huge losses. So those two scenarios, very important to consider. If we were to represent the level of the equilibrium, how does it look like? The supply curve, the aggregate supply, starts from the origin. The equation Y is equals to C plus S. The aggregate demand does not start from the origin. This is what we call the aggregate demand, the equation C plus I. At the point of intersection, we label the equilibrium. And so we have the NI at equilibrium level, when in our illustration, we are relating income to consumption, to savings, and investment on the y-axis. If savings are more than investment, when aggregate supply is more than aggregate demand, we talk about deflationary gap. And when our investment are more than the savings, or rather when the savings are more than the investment, we talk about deflationary gap here. And when our investment are more than savings, we talk about inflationary gap. We stop there for today.